All right, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Enock Ebbah, and we'll talk quickly about harnessing technologies to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals. So the United Nations has 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, and under those 17 Sustainable Development Goals, there are 169 targets. And I'll go on to share PwC and the World Economic Forum did a research where they found out there's roughly about 345 technology applications which can enhance the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, this is just examples of some of the technologies which I'm sure will be talked about, and there is a long list, certainly. So starting off, there are 3 pillars of sustainability, or the SDG, which is environmental, social, and economic. And how do we define the sustainable development? The United Nations defines as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. Now, as a society, sustainability and the SDGs is very important because people and governments have a need for sustainable products and services. There's high energy and material costs. And so in the market, there is a huge need to have technologies and solutions that will gear all towards providing sustainability or the Sustainable Development Goals. So this is an overview of the 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, from no poverty 1, zero hunger, all the way through to reduce inequalities, to 13, climate change, all the way to the partnership. Because of time, I couldn't go to every single one of them. But underneath these 17 sits 169 targets by the United Nations. And those 17 can be subdivided into the 3 pillars of sustainability, where you have social, environmental, and economic, where governments, industry, people require efficient materials and energy, low carbon fuels like hydrogen, availability of water, food, and clean air, and low carbon transport and buildings. And to achieve all these sustainable development goals, for today's session, we're looking at what technologies can be used. Where with the technologies, we're looking at the 4th industrial revolution technologies, where we can use with data to provide solutions, increase productivity, increase access to financial models, increase transparency, and other sections. So again, just examples of the technologies which I'm sure will be discussed in this conference, where you have artificial intelligence, blockchain, through to robotics, 5G, to synthetic biology. So as I said earlier, PwC and the World Economic Forum, when they did a research, they found out that technology can impact a minimum of 10 out of the 17 SDGs, where, for example, big data can support 100% of the SDGs. AI is central to about 50%, blockchain about 25%, IoT is about 33%. So the key message in this presentation is looking at, okay, we have the Sustainable Development Goals, but how can we harness the various technologies in order to advance these systems? So again, it's 345 of these technologies, which I couldn't present all in a 5-minute presentation, but this is a quick snapshot of, for example, the first 12 of the SDGs, where from no poverty all the way to the sustainable cities and communities. So if I dive in some examples, using pay-as-you-go utilities is known to reduce poverty. Using IoT can provide smart metering for energy consumption, or looking at AI-enabled remote working solutions to increase or improve gender equality. So in terms of call to action, with all the technologies and the 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, these are the key areas if we are to scale the technologies to meet delivering the Sustainable Development Goals. As has already been discussed in the previous sessions, leadership is very important. We need the right skills that will be able to meet applying the various technologies into delivering sustainability or the Sustainable Development Goal. Partnerships in the previous session as well has been discussed about the strategic partnership will also improve. Financing is very important, the right investment to push innovation and research and development. Public policy, governments have to come up with legislation and regulations so that it can drive the market. And last but not the least, the various data and the tools must also be available in order to harness the various technologies. So thank you so much for listening, and I'm looking forward to the various discussions later on as well. Thank you.